So I found this coming up like in session. I am coming out with a dating anxiety book. And what I end up sort of discussing with people is that it's not a dating book. It's a dating anxiety book. So dating anxiety is social anxiety that's being triggered in dating situations. So I'm not doing a book that's teaching people how to date. It's a social anxiety book. It's not a dating book. And this is something that I have to sort of like clarify to people. And I think one of the things that really distinguishes it from what people are expecting is that it's not about creating connections or forcing connections. It is about removing the barriers that are preventing connections from naturally taking place. Hopefully that conceptually makes sense. I'm trying to get rid of the obstacles that are preventing natural connection from occurring, rather than trying to add things on top. So like what this looks like, right? So in social anxiety, and thus in dating anxiety, there's an internal belief of, in some ways, not good enough. And so when you're in a dating situation, that triggers the threat system to kick in. And the threat system are all those symptoms we get of social anxiety. In response to that, what we end up doing is putting up all the protections and safety behaviors and ways that we try to keep ourselves safe. And it's really hard to socialize in that way. So feeling triggered, activated, and then trying to protect and get through it. Very hard to connect. If this was a dating skills book or a how to date book, then what it's trying to do is like saying, you are in this state. How can you act? How can you perform? How can you come across so that people will like you? So I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. Instead, what I'm trying to do is break all those protections away, take the protections down in order to teach the threat system it doesn't have to kick in order to teach it's not dangerous. You are safe to be yourself, convey that, and then naturally connect. Hopefully that makes sense. This is true of social anxiety and dating anxiety. We're not trying to grit our teeth, squeeze, stress, strain, and force ourselves to suppress anxiety or not come across anxious or force our way through to where we're able to connect with people. Instead, like, there is underneath our threat system, if we can bring the threat system down, there's this naturally occurring affiliation mode, I call it. So this affiliation system that leads us to naturally connect with people. So like think about when you're around people that you like, people that like you, where you feel safe. Maybe it's family, maybe it's old friends, but there's certain people that probably allow you to feel accepted. And when you're around them, think about what that state's like. The state of where it's easy to connect. You're not thinking about yourself. You're not self-conscious. You're not analyzing, am I doing the right thing or not? You're not judging yourself. You probably just externally engage in what's happening and you're connecting. So in that state, that's this affiliation mode. That's the social engagement system. So what we're trying to do, I mean, really in all treatment, but also in that book, is trying to get rid of the threat system that's being triggered and all the protections that come with it to get to a point where the threat system isn't even being activated and where you are feeling comfortable enough that connection is natural. You don't have to control your eye contact. You don't have to control your hands. You don't have to control your thinking. You don't have to suppress the shakiness. You just being yourself naturally, and it's engaging and connecting. So that's where we're aiming. Taking away obstacles to allow natural connection rather than trying to do skills and performances to create a connection. One last piece here is like the metaphor for this, because this came up in a session too. And I think it's an easy way to think about it, is I had somebody I'm working with who said, I'm having a lot of trouble sleeping. Tell me the things I have to do to sleep better. And what I said was, well, like, that's not really the problem. I think you already know the things to do to sleep better, and they're probably not doing it for you. We actually don't need to have you pressing the go to sleep button. Instead, we need to figure out what is the stay awake button that you keep pressing. Like, what are the don't go to sleep buttons that you've been pressing? And we need to have you stop pressing those. The body knows how to sleep. Like, we go to sleep. The problem is you are doing all these things that are keeping you activated. They're sending a message sort of to your body of, I need to stay awake. And figuring out those things, well, if you stop doing those, then you will naturally start to move towards sleep. We don't force our bodies to go to sleep. Just like we don't force a connection to happen with somebody. We remove the things that are stopping it from happening, and then we allow it to happen naturally. We put ourselves in a situation where our bodies can fall asleep, or we put ourselves in a situation where we can connect with people.